Yo, what is crack-a-lackin', everybody? Caveman Jack, back for another reaction/review, and we are back live from the studio. Yo! Hopefully you guys are all having a fantastic week. This week I've decided to delve into the magical mind of Kevin Parker and his group, Tame Impala. Kevin Parker has an amazing taste for sound, a taste for music, and it's real kind of like poppy but psychedelic, and so it's really journey inducing. You feel like you take a journey with these albums, and they're very trippy to say the least. So I'm very excited to check out the album Lonerism. I have listened to Currents and I have listened to The Slow Rush, and this is an album that I've been wanting to listen to for quite some time. And I'm just keen to kind of just dive into this sound. I haven't listened, because The Slow Rush came out a couple of years ago, I haven't really listened to anything from Tame Impala for quite some time. Yeah, let's get into it. Very fast paced. You can feel the energy building already. Yeah, we like this already. We like this synthy sound. Oh, saturation on the drums, really just. Oh, that's tough. Ooh. That was really good. That was really good. Yes, what a song. This is great. Great intro track. Just like puts you in this space already, you know. I'm already in this world now. Kevin is just taking me into this world. The wavy synths, incredible, built so much atmosphere. The layering that happened throughout the song, so that was really, really good. So, you know, you'd have like multiple notes play at the same time to kind of highlight the synth, and that's where it's like, that's where you get the goosebumps, because you kind of got this, gotta be above it, and the real kind of like saturated drums, and they're kind of out of focus, and then all of a sudden multiple notes lay over each other, and you just get this moving kind of hit or slap to the face, like no. It's awesome, really awesome. I love that first song. Oh man, that's gotta be just a spaced out guitar there, yeah. It's a classic Tame Impala sound. It's fantastic, man. Yeah, they're fantastic out there. That's the type of music, you know, you can just close your eyes and it's literally transporting you to just another world. You're flying. It's almost like you're flying. See, I am a huge lover of synths and those kind of wavy sounds, and electronic sounds is something I've listened to a lot of my life. This kind of music is really tapered to the sounds that I love to hear. I love the kind of atmosphere that Kevin can create in his music. There doesn't need to be a lot of lyrics, and the lyrics are often really drawn out, and they kind of blend in with the synths or the guitar. And I think that's really effective. It feels like a trip in itself. Apocalypse Dreams. Oh, that's tough. It's almost got like a little bit of kind of like with the bass, a little bit kind of 60s kind of vibe to it. like that. Oh, the breakdown. Woo. Gosh, man. Love the breakdown on the song. Oh, you're joking. So cool. Oh, that delay or that reverb on the guitar. Oh, yeah. So good. See what I mean though? He's got such an effective way of just like building up these notes and just laying them on each other. You know, and they have a hard hitting feel to them when he does that. Bang, everything is just great. That song almost goes for 6 minutes, and the way Kevin's utilized the length of this song is really effective. It feels like it has so much room to breathe. Multiple points in that song where we go into this slow breakdown, and it's a really seamless transition. It doesn't feel too jarring. It's a really smooth transition between the faster pace and the slower pace, and it almost had a real level of hopelessness to it. The lyrics seemed really bleak, and some of the kind of repeated sounds almost feel like this monotony or kind of repetition in this person's life, or nothing ever seems to change. The drums are really echoey, really kind of like echo or delay on the kind of guitars and the sounds, different tracks on this song. Mischief was an interesting track. The first half of the song I wasn't quite sure on it, and I felt it was just a little bit kind of, I don't know, not going through the motions, but it wasn't really drawing me in. I think it was probably the previous songs being so heavy in sounds. The first half of this song felt quite lackluster if you compare it to the other songs. There was a lot more room for lyrics and a story to be told in this song, and as I started looking through the lyrics, there is quite a story there. I love the deeper insecurities that we felt we tapped into in the second half of that song as the mind continues to play more tricks, till ultimately we get to the end of the song where the mind is playing so much tricks that he can't even hear his own internal thoughts, his own consciousness. There's lyrics there, and I can see lyrics coming through, but you cannot really hear, and that's what makes these albums and Kevin's music so trippy and psychedelic, is because the voice and the vocals, they incorporate themselves and become an own sound. But that's got a bit of an upbeat feel to it. see all the sounds that are just happening right now. It's fantastic. This synth, the long-winded synths, and then the fast-paced synth. It's great. Songs, they tell such great stories. Kevin makes psychedelic, poppy heartbreak songs. It's a great way to kind of transition into a bridge. Oh, the guitar in the back. It's a great song. Really fantastic song. Yes! That is so good! Whoever this song is about, they're in a place where they are trying so hard to be themselves, where it's ultimately making them somebody else. That is such a... I really like that concept. You know, everyone else is doing so well. I just want to be under that same spell. I'm doing good. It can be very difficult sometimes, especially in this day and age where you have so many social media platforms, and it's very easy to compare yourself with others and have this kind of internal wrestle where you're like, what am I doing? What am I doing with my life? And you have these constant questions. I know there's points that, in points of the last couple of years where I've had those moments of kind of existential crises of sorts where I'm like, what am I doing? And I think ultimately it's being present and in the moment and having these, just enjoying the ride. But yeah, I love that song. I love the ending there. The outro there was hard hitting. The heavier, darker synths. Again, Kevin has such an effective way of layering different tracks on each other that it hits hard. Wow, a bit of synth there. Very wavy. Oh. That's cool. Spacey. Album, man. That kick drum is great. It's got such a punch to it. Another fantastic song. Lyrically, it was almost like this kind of jealousy or this kind of like, I'm so lonely, woe me. I'm not going to talk to them. I'm going to be a star. They're going to be sorry. It's like this isolating cycle, lonely in the way that the people around him are progressing and he feels like he is so far behind, maybe feeling like he needs all these things that other people have to be the same as them or to be happy, and it becomes this isolating lonerism. Feels Like We Only Go Backwards is a single I have heard. Fantastic song. vocals get a real kind of like pedestal on this song. They really transcend this song to another place. It's a really sad song, you know. It's got such a sad hopelessness kind of feel to it. Listen to all the tracks surrounding the vocals right now. This relationship of sorts where he feels like they are only going backwards. They get their hopes up and, oh no, we're going backwards again. See how it's got a little bit kind of like a beachy kind of vibe, like the 60s, like you really lock in, you can hear the different sounds. So many. Voices everywhere. Is it like his consciousness? Like the many voices of his consciousness, or the many lies that he said, perhaps? The saturation on the sound is just thick. Yeah, Kevin left us with the powerful sadness that surrounded that first half of the song. It's almost like, yeah, he left us with that sadness to kind of sit and ponder it while the music kind of just developed and kind of engulfed the rest of the song. And yeah, bookend with the All I Do Is Lie to You, no matter what. Not my favourite song on the album, I won't lie. Elephant, another song that we have heard, a lot of people have heard. It's pretty good. I think I've said it in a couple of videos before, but we have this thing called the Triple J Top 100, which is a radio station here in Australia. And then towards the end of the year, people vote for their 10 favourite songs. And then ultimately we have a top 100 of all these votes. And ultimately you have a winner. We also have a thing called Like a Version, which is when artists come in and they cover another artist's song. And one of the most famous Australian groups, The Wiggles, covered this song, Elephant, and it ultimately won the top 100. And I was really stoked about it because it's great. How tough is that, man? I like that flare, like it just cuts itself off. Every time it should like give itself a second, it just cuts itself off. I love it. Sounds. Now we're underwater. Back out underwater. Fantastic! I feel like this song hasn't hooked me in yet. Like that. like that breakdown. Led Zeppelin didn't really hook me in like some of the other tracks. There were some points, the vocal effects he was going and the kind of flow that he had midpoint of the song I really liked, but everything else didn't really hook me in. This is a bit of an interlude. It's got a bit of Dawn FM about it. But she Yeah, what I like about Kevin's songs is that a lot of them are quite long and just gives you freedom to kind of fall into the songs a bit more. They're not abrupt, they don't cut off, it's very open. Right, man.
What are you doing out here?
Is it right? Is it wrong? I don't know.
Oh my god. Same song. I loved it. It was so moving, the lyrics. Nothing that has happened so far has been in our control. So many sounds. So many sounds. My goodness. His voice, how it just flows. Some of these songs have sounded like they've started from different eras, you know, and then they transport into this psychedelic sound. Song's giving me some Radiohead vibes. Someone's walking, or very western, like someone's walking away into the sunset as the sun rises. Really interesting last track. What a much more slower paced way to end the album. Wow, that was Lonerism by Tame Impala. I cannot put my finger on exactly what this album is about. It feels like there is many different themes that play throughout the length of this project. And firstly, we look at the song title, Lonerism, and there are definitely elements of loneliness and isolation throughout this project. Very much like someone's in their own head. And self-doubt plays a huge role in this character's arc throughout this album, and it feels very much like a lot of the stuff around him feels like it's falling apart, perhaps from self-doubt, or maybe one domino's fallen and then it feels like he's involuntarily or voluntarily knocking down the rest of the dominoes to continue that downfall. Such a synth heavy and psychedelic poppy sound throughout this project. A lot of his music has some really deep lyrics, and I think it's very easy to gloss over them just through listening to the hectic synths that play throughout and the sounds that bombard you, whereas there are so many rich messages and rich themes that are present throughout each of these songs. Going through the album, there was some absolute gems on it. Be Above It was a great way to start the album. I thought it was simple, but it felt so effective with this euphoric kind of rhythm to it. Apocalypse Dreams was a lengthy song that I really enjoyed as well. Had multiple layers to it. It was really balanced in the way that it kind of was up and it was down, and just really effective song progression. Mind Mischief was an interesting one. I didn't really connect with it, but I remember really enjoying the theme behind it and the layers that that song appeared to have. Why Won't They Talk to Me? All of these kind of self-depreciating song titles, the lyrics are quite often very similar and match the tone that the song title presents. Elephant is another great song. Elephant has just so many pockets in it, and some of that diddling and diddling and how they extend off that riff, and it just keeps building and it just keeps giving. That song keeps giving. You often find, and I found a lot on this project, that there'll be a verse sung, you might get 3 minutes of instrumentation, and then you might just get a really, really short and tight outro vocals. Nothing that has happened so far has been in our control. I love that piece. Really fell into that sound, that song. And Sun's Coming Up threw me a little. Very slower paced. Has the character in this album been so in their head all night that they haven't slept, and this is ultimately the final song where the sun is coming up and they are like, it's another day, and it's this cycle of lonerism, this cycle of intrusive self-depreciating thoughts, is this like just a deadly toxic cycle, an unhealthy cycle within this person's psyche. Effective themes, music-wise, fantastic, A+ as expected. Let me know what you guys thought. Is this your favorite Tame Impala album? If not, which one is? And have you seen Tame Impala live? Let me know your thoughts on them. How are they live? Anyway, guys, thank you so much for checking out the video. If you're new here and you enjoyed the video, feel free to join the community and subscribe. We'd love to have you here. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you again for joining me on this journey. It is always a pleasure to see you. This was another album reaction/review. My name is Caveman Jack. Take care, guys. Have a fantastic week. And I will see y'all in the next video. Cheers.